I told him I met your pop over in England when we were with the Raiders. They had a game over there in London. And I said, for some reason, I have always been a Mora family man. And when he took over the Atlanta Falcons, then the Seattle Seahawks, he was with the San Francisco 49ers. As a kid with the Chargers, there's just something about his technique that I always liked. And I think it passes down from father to son. And we've got one of the best in the staff who you're going to meet tonight that he put together. They are first cabin with that NFL experience, just like he has. And I think we are in for something special. I was talking with Coach and I said, the experts out there have our recruiting class fighting into the top 10. We got some really good players. Let's bring him up with a nice UCLA round of applause. Our new head coach, Jim Mora.
Thank you very much. I want to take a minute and thank Dan for giving me the resources and the opportunity to go far and wide in our search for one of the finest football staffs, coaching staffs in all of America. These men sitting over here that I'm going to introduce you to in a minute. You're only as good as your coaches. As a head coach and as an assistant coach, you're only as good as your players. And these guys have done a tremendous job, as you'll see tonight, in bringing in some fresh talent to UCLA, some players that you can be proud to sit in the stands and watch and cheer for. Before I go any further, though, there's two guys here tonight that made all of this possible, the success that we had today on signing day possible. And they're guys that you never read about, you never hear about, but they are as important as anybody. And I want the first one, Pat Girardi, to stand up. Stand up. Before you cheer, hold on now, hold on. That's not going to be enough now. This guy right here, I walked in here on a Tuesday afternoon, had my press conference, walked up to my office, and he handed me a phone and said, start recruiting right now. This is the guy that held it together while the transition was taking place between Coach Neuheisel and myself. He's the guy that guided this whole thing, and he's the main reason that we have hopefully a top 10 recruiting class tonight. I don't think that just sitting and clapping for him is enough. I think we need to give him a standing O, because without this guy, and then also the guy standing next to him there, when I took the job, Bobby Field here, who's been here forever, he said, I mean that in a very respectful way. I apologize. He said, hey, there's a guy that is an intern in recruiting, and he said, this guy is a recruiting nerd. He said, this guy knows every player in the country. He can give you statistics. He can recite phone numbers. He can tell you what games they played well in, what games they maybe struggled in. You need to talk to this guy. And I met with him immediately, and he was exactly right. And that's Matt Bernstein, who's our recruiting intern. And without those two guys sitting right there, without those two guys right there, the success we had today would not have been possible. So thank you so much. You know, sometimes the people that get the most recognition maybe shouldn't, and the people that get no recognition should get a lot, and those two guys right there certainly deserve it. I've got a tremendous, we have a tremendous coaching staff here. And when Dan Guerrero offered me this job and provided the resources, as I said, and the support to go out and hire these guys, we were looking for men that would come to UCLA and bring honor to this program and honor to this university. And I feel very confident we accomplished this. These men that you see in front of you here are not only great football coaches, but they're great men. They're men of integrity and honor. They're going to be great mentors to the student athletes that we sign today as they move forward in their UCLA career. They're also fantastic recruiters. I mean, boy, can they recruit, and I think proof of that is in what we're able to accomplish today. And you're going to get a chance to meet each one of these guys today as they come up and present the players to you on video that we were able to sign today. When we started this thing, really 5.5 weeks ago, we kind of had a decision to make with regards to recruiting. And we could do what I call is kind of concede the class and just say, okay, you know, there's a pretty good class in place. We're really late into the game. So why don't we focus on 2013? That was one option. That option was not an option, okay? Our option, our only option, is we were going to attack 2012. And we were going to go after players all over the country that we thought that could come in here and help us win football games and represent this university the way it deserves to be represented, represent you fans the way you deserve to be represented, and that's what we did. We hired great coaches, we sent them on the road, and we went after it. We recruited and signed today 10 players from 10 different states and 3 different countries. And we've got a guy from Russia even. How about that? You'll hear about him when Coach Korn comes up here. But along with that, and that would be good, you know, that would be good. We signed a nice class, but we also set our sights on the future. And in the last 5 weeks, we've also, besides signing the class that we signed today, we've evaluated over 300 juniors across the country, and as of right now have over 50 offers to players in the next class, the 2013 class. So it's not just about the success that we had this year, it's about creating perpetual success, enduring success, and that's what these guys are all about. But really tonight, it's about this year's class, isn't it? It's about this year's class. It's about the guys that we signed for this class. And I can tell you this, that all of us have great confidence that the young men that we signed to be UCLA Bruins for the next 4 years will represent this university and all of its fans with dignity and class on the field and off the field. These are great young men who we vetted extensively. We were in their homes. We were in their high schools. We met with them on campus, off campus. We had hundreds of hours of phone calls with them. We tried to dive as deep as we could into their backgrounds and find out really if they were worthy of wearing a UCLA Bruin helmet and jersey. And we think that these guys are. We believe that these guys are. Each of these kids have qualities that we value as coaches. Obviously, when you start out evaluating talent, you look for measurables. You look for height and weight and speed and ability to move quickly, and change direction and catch the ball and tackle and work well in space. And if you're a receiver, you know, elude bump and run and find spaces in zone and separate downfield. And if you're a defensive lineman, pass rush, hold the point of attack in the run game and various things like that. But there were other things that we were looking for as well besides the apparent ability on the film, and that was football character. We want guys that love to play football, that die to play football, that got to have football in their life. Those are the types of young men we were looking for. We were looking for men that, as you saw at the top of the pyramid, competitive greatness. We were looking for guys that were at their best when their best was required. The tougher it got, the better they played. And you can see that on film. You can see when things are going downhill a little bit for a team, or a team struggling. You can see guys that pick it up a little bit. We were looking for those kinds of guys. We're confident we got that. The other thing, tough guys. Okay, we want some tough suckers in here. Okay? That's okay to say that. Suckers. Tough suckers in here. Okay? That go out there every play and lay it on the line. And we think we found those types of guys. The other thing is accountability. We want players representing you that are accountable to you. And they're accountable to this university. And they're accountable to their teammates and their team. And they're accountable to their coaches and they're accountable to each other. And they take pride in being accountable. And we think these young men have that. And the other thing we're looking for is guys that have a team ego. Guys that are willing to put the team first always. It's okay to have an ego. All the great ones have an ego. But they're willing to put their ego aside for the ego of the team. And we think that we found 27 young men today that can do that. Bottom line is this, is that, you know, people will talk about the players we didn't get. Those players don't matter. They went somewhere else. They are going to be faceless, nameless guys wearing a different jersey whose butts we're going to kick some Saturday afternoon. Okay? What we're concerned about, what our focus is on the young men that we did sign. The young men that are going to be UCLA Bruins, and they're going to represent you with dignity and class. So that's what we're all about tonight. What we're going to do now is we're going to bring up Angus McClure, who is our defensive line coach, and he's also our recruiting coordinator, and he's going to get this program started by introducing the coaches. The coaches are going to show you some video. We're going to probably need to turn those lights down so you can really get into this, because some of this isn't the highest quality film, but it's darn good. And he's going to take you through these players, and you're going to love what you see. You're going to love what you see. Now, when you watch them, imagine them in that beautiful UCLA Bruin uniform with that gorgeous gold helmet with the script on the side. And boy, I tell you what, you get fired up like I am. All right, thank you.